Beloved soul, Archangel Michael speaks now with the clarity of heaven's watchful gaze, for your heart has been weighed heavily with the sting of betrayal, and though you did not voice it loudly, within yourself you have whispered questions like, "Why did they take advantage of me when all I wanted was to help?" Or, "Why was my kindness treated like weakness?" And I tell you this so you will understand that your generosity was never overlooked by heaven, even if it was misused by man, because every act of giving, every moment of selflessness, every time you extended your hand to lift another even while your own hand was trembling, these moments were recorded in the eternal books of heaven, where no seed of love, no offering of compassion, no sacrifice of time or energy is ever wasted. You thought that when they lied, when they took, when they left, that your gift was lost, but I am here to reveal that nothing given from a pure heart is ever lost in the kingdom. It is multiplied, it is remembered, it is stored like treasure in a place where moths cannot destroy and thieves cannot steal. And though on earth they twisted your kindness into a tool for their own gain, in heaven it was marked as righteousness, as obedience, as a reflection of the Father's heart, and that is why even now there are blessings being aligned in your path that you do not yet see. You must understand, beloved, that this is not the first time heaven has seen the righteous suffer misuse, for even in ages past, prophets, healers, and the faithful were often wounded by those they served, yet not one of their offerings escaped the eye of the Eternal One. And so too, your pain has not gone unseen, your loss has not gone unnoticed, your tears have not gone uncounted. And every piece of yourself you gave will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over in ways beyond your imagination. For you have been tested in the fire of giving without recognition, of pouring into vessels that did not honor the water they received, and though the enemy tried to make you regret the beauty of your heart, heaven says no, your compassion was not weakness, it was a weapon of light, and though some tried to twist it into chains for you, it will instead become chains that bind blessings to your destiny. Do not believe the lie that you were foolish for being generous, for in truth you were walking in alignment with a divine principle, and now that heaven has seen the misuse, justice will be released, not in your bitterness, but in divine timing, where those who use you will confront the fruit of their actions, and you will walk forward free from their shadow, carrying instead the weight of reward. This is why your next chapter will look different, for while others may still carry guilt or shame for how they handled your kindness, you will carry grace, strength, and favor, because I am charged with protecting not only your present but also your promise, and what was taken wrongfully will not go unredeemed. Beloved soul, I continue to speak because heaven is not finished unveiling what has been hidden from your sight, for there are layers to the way your generosity was twisted, and though you tried to brush it aside, to convince yourself that it did not matter, deep down you felt the sting of being used, the ache of being unseen. And yet I remind you that even in those hidden moments when you gave from what you barely had, when you offered forgiveness instead of retaliation, when you extended patience to those who were not patient with you, every single choice was seen by the one who sits upon the throne, and though people thought they were clever in masking their intentions, heaven has already measured their heart and weighed their motives, and nothing escaped the eyes of the Almighty. For your offering was given in faith, but their misuse was born from selfishness, and the two do not carry the same weight in the eternal scales. There are some who smiled at you while taking, who cloaked their manipulation in flattery, who knew the softness of your heart, and used it as an entry point to benefit themselves. But beloved, hear this clearly, what they saw as weakness was actually a reflection of Christ within you, for it is written that he himself was despised, rejected, and used by many, and yet he gave without ceasing, knowing that the Father in heaven would redeem every moment of injustice. You have walked in that same shadow, unknowingly stepping into a divine pattern, and because of that your life has drawn the attention of heaven's armies, for the Father does not allow those who carry his light to be trampled forever. There comes a turning point, and that point is upon you now. The enemy thought he could discourage you, silence your generosity, and make you bitter so that your gift would dry up, but instead the Father has kept a remnant of love alive in you, and that small flame will be fanned into a fire that cannot be quenched, a fire that brings both warmth to the righteous and purification to those who meant you harm. You ask in your heart why it took so long for heaven to act, why you were left to endure the humiliation of watching those who used you seem to prosper while you struggled, But the truth is that God allowed the stage to be set so that His justice would be unmistakable, so that when His hand moves in your life, all who mocked you, all who drained you, all who thought they walked away untouched will have no choice but to see that the Lord Himself defended you. I reveal to you that some who used you are already under conviction. Their nights are not as peaceful as they appear, for the Spirit has been pressing on their conscience, reminding them of how they handled you, replaying their words, their choices, their deceit, and though they may laugh in public, their soul trembles in private, for heaven has already whispered that their actions are recorded, and beloved, it is not your job to carry the burden of their guilt, for that belongs to them and to God alone. Your role is to remain free, to let go of the bitterness that the enemy tries to bind around your heart, and to trust that the vindication is not coming from your hand but from the hand of the one who is both judge and redeemer. This is why you will begin to notice strange shifts around you, moments where those who used to drain you suddenly lose access to you, where invitations that once enticed you suddenly feel heavy in your spirit, where doors you used to keep open for others suddenly begin to close not by your decision but by divine command, for heaven has declared that you will no longer be a vessel for misuse but a vessel of honor, set apart for greater assignments, and those who use you will not be able to follow where you are going. And hear this, beloved, because it is a secret few understand. When your kindness is taken for granted, the record of it becomes a testimony in heaven, and the Father uses it to prepare tables of abundance for you, tables so full that when your enemies see them, they will recognize that your heart was never foolish, it was faithful, and they will witness the fruit of what they once despised. Beloved child, I now speak with even greater urgency, for the hour has come to unveil the full depth of what has been occurring unseen, for your generosity, which has been treated as weakness, has in truth been a weapon of light, a silent signal to heaven that you are faithful, that your heart remains aligned with my will, and that even when the world sought to twist your compassion for selfish gain, nothing could corrupt the essence of what I placed in you, for every act of giving, whether acknowledged or ignored, has been meticulously recorded in the eternal ledger where no injustice goes unnoticed, and as I reveal this to you, I want you to understand that the same forces that tried to exploit your heart are already under scrutiny, already experiencing the subtle but unmistakable weight of spiritual accountability, and while they may appear to walk free, their every move is shadowed by the consequences of their actions, consequences that I, in my perfect timing, will bring to full light. You have often questioned why the rewards of your labor of love seem delayed, why those who took advantage of your generosity appear to flourish, why your heart has carried the burden of disappointment without visible recompense. But I tell you, beloved, that every delay has been deliberate, every moment of seeming injustice a stage for my divine justice to shine with undeniable brilliance, for in the fullness of time, what was once misused will be restored, multiplied, and placed into your hands not as a mere consolation, but as a testament to my sovereignty, a living proof that the kindness of your heart cannot be stolen, cannot be diminished, and cannot be ignored by the kingdom of heaven. There will come a day when those who deceived, manipulated, or drained you will be forced to witness the magnitude of your rise, not with anger in your heart, not with vengeance on your lips, but with the quiet and undeniable power of one who has walked through trials and remained faithful, whose generosity has been honored in ways they cannot comprehend, and whose life now radiates the reward of integrity untouched by corruption. And in that moment, the spiritual scales will tip decisively, revealing that your patience, your discernment, your unwavering commitment to righteousness has been the very instrument through which heaven moved to vindicate you. And as you continue to walk forward, you will begin to notice subtle alignments orchestrated by my hand, doors opening that were previously closed, relationships forming with those who genuinely recognize and honor your spirit, opportunities flowing to you that carry both abundance and purpose, and confirmations in prayer, dreams, and synchronicities that all serve as divine markers showing you that the season of misuse is ending, that the era of restoration is beginning, and that your role as a faithful steward of love is being elevated into realms you have not yet imagined. Beloved, do not be discouraged by the echoes of past betrayal, for even the memories of those who used you are being transformed into testimonies that will encourage others who feel overlooked, unappreciated, or exploited, and as your life intersects with theirs in unforeseen ways, The ripple effects of your integrity will extend far beyond what you can see, proving that no act of generosity, no matter how quietly given or seemingly unnoticed, is ever wasted in my kingdom, and that the same heart that was once taken for granted is now being prepared to receive blessings so abundant that they will overwhelm the senses, fortify the spirit, and validate every tear, every prayer, and every sacrifice made in faith and in obedience to my call. Beloved, now hear the culmination of what heaven has been preparing, for the season of trial is ending and the fruit of your steadfast generosity, which was misused and misunderstood, is about to emerge in ways so magnificent that your soul will recognize the unmistakable hand of God moving in your life, and though your heart may still carry the memory of betrayal, know that it is being replaced by a joy so deep, a peace so unshakable, and a sense of vindication so undeniable that those who once thought they could exploit your kindness will be left to witness the glory they could not touch, and they will see that the love they misused has multiplied beyond measure, not only restoring what was taken but elevating you into a new sphere where your influence, favor, and authority are heightened because heaven never forgets the faithful, and no sacrifice given in purity of heart is ever overlooked. You will notice doors opening that were previously locked, people arriving into your life who will honor your spirit rather than deplete it, and opportunities emerging that are far greater than anything the enemy or those who misused you could have offered, and these are not random. They are direct consequences of your faithfulness, every act of love, every prayer offered for others even when unappreciated, every ounce of compassion you extended despite rejection, all converging into a season of unprecedented restoration and blessing. And as this unfolds, the very ones who sought to take advantage of your generosity will be confronted with the reflection of their own choices, the mirror of their intentions, and the undeniable proof that what they attempted to manipulate has instead become a conduit for your elevation, for the Father in heaven has ensured that the one who remains faithful, who perseveres in integrity, who continues to give with a pure heart, will be glorified, and the one who tried to hinder you will be humbled, not by your hand but by the unmistakable workings of divine justice, and you will stand in awe of how perfectly orchestrated it has all been, from every unseen tear to every unnoticed prayer, from every moment of frustration to every trial endured in silence, for each was a thread in the tapestry of your testimony. Beloved, I tell you now that this is the time to step fully into your calling without hesitation, to release all lingering resentment, to trust that heaven has already compensated for what was stolen, and to embrace the abundance, recognition, and divine favor that are flowing toward you because you have been faithful where others were unfaithful, generous where others were selfish, and patient where others were impatient, and as you rise, you will see that your life has become a beacon, a living testimony to those who feel used or overlooked that God sees, heaven honors, and Archangel Michael intervenes, for nothing you sowed in love was ever wasted, nothing you gave in faith was ever in vain, and now, as the fullness of your reward unfolds, you will witness the miraculous restoration of every blessing, every relationship, every opportunity that was once tainted by misuse now refined, purified, and magnified for your ultimate good, for in heaven's eyes, your generosity was never a weakness. It was the very thing that set you apart for victory, for influence, for honor, and for a legacy that cannot be touched, diminished, or forgotten, and so rejoice, beloved, for your story of giving, patience, and faithfulness has reached its divinely appointed climax, and what was once used against you has now been transformed into the very instrument of your elevation, your blessing, and your eternal testimony.